Welcome to Payday 3. This is no rest for the wicked. Solo stealth mode on Overkill difficulty. We're going to start by entering the main lobby because we're going straight for the power panel inside the actual cashier location. This is easiest for me because when I do these runs, I'm usually looking to take all the loot, no matter what it is, no matter how long it takes for me to do so. So you'll probably see me go out of my way multiple times to get all the loot, including these little safes that you see here on the floor. One thing to note is I do have the spec that allows me to gain rush by going near civilians, which I think there's a secondary spec that allows us to do illegal activities while civilians are watching without getting reported. So that's how I was able to get the safe and go into this area without being seen. Now, if you don't have those specs, obviously you're going to have to do a much more clean run. You won't be able to take as much loot or like all the loose cash that you see on the ground. And you wouldn't also be able to do these lockpicking events without that. I also have sped up lockpicking while I have rush. That's very important to have in order to get things fast. So next I went into the back rooms as a private area. If you do get caught, don't freak out too much. Just hold still and let them escort you out of the area. They won't attack you on sight. The only time that they'll do that is they'll try to arrest you when found in a secure location. You can see that call out in the top middle of the screen. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into these back areas. One thing to note is you do not have to collect these little files that I'm collecting right here. Those are not necessary in order to actually get the item in the vault. This just allows you to find it easier so you don't have to open up every single lockbox when you get inside the actual safe. I just get all these to show you a full complete run through of what we're looking at. There was a phone on the table that I grabbed because that has the QR code to access the door on the second level. QR codes are usually going to be present in Overkill mode. They're like an extra feature to prevent you from progressing, and you have to think about all the necessary details. So again, I went into like the director or CEO's office or whatever you want to call it. I'm grabbing all the extra files, grab some loose cash off the shelves, and I'm going to break into the safe. One thing to note there, you might be pinged every once in a while. On the left side, there is a guard walking outside the windows that may spot you. Don't need to worry about him. Just keep cracking the safe. You won't be able to do a full alert bar on you. The only thing that you have to watch out for is the random civs that walk outside the doors and the guard himself. If you see a ping on your right hand side, stop doing it and try to hide behind like a chair or something, because they will detect you fully if you don't do that correctly. So I already grabbed the key card off the guard. It's for the actual power room for the security, for the safe, or for the vault itself. So I'm going to go ahead and go outside and wrap all the way around to the rear of the facility to get up to the roof. You do that by going through this gate. You just got to lockpick. I have the speed lockpicking again just so the guard doesn't see me. And you want to be careful when you get up to the roof because there can be one of two guards up here, one regular guard and one elite guard. Neither one of them are here right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go around this to this box. This box is like the ultimate hiding spot. It's right underneath the security camera so you won't get seen, and if anybody walks past you from the front, you won't be detected. So there's the elite guard, and there's the main guard, both at the same time. So I'm just going to let the main guard walk past me, and then I'm going to go around to lockpick the door. As soon as I get through this door, I'm going to go ahead and go down the stairs and put a little camera. It's really important to keep tabs on that elite guard. And there's the main guard for floor 2. I'm going to go ahead and try to grab his card as well for the security door. And I'm going to go straight through to this back left area where all the printers are. That guy that we just passed was the first VIP of the area. There's another VIP on the opposite side of the same floor. I usually just capture the VIP that we just saw and throw him into a room because I prefer going after the VIP on the other side. Just going to go ahead and crack this safe. This will be the last safe. I've only been able to ever find 3 in Overkill, or any of the difficulties for sure. And I've also grabbed all of the loose cache that I'm aware of as well on this map. I'm just going to go through and get these last couple files because I'm still looking for that optional objective, find the executive deposit box. Again, like I said, you don't need to do that. You can just go into the vault and go through every lockbox if you wanted to.
Those numbers line up. Find the matching deposit box in the vault.
Luckily, we found it on that thing, so that's basically how it identifies that you've got the exact lockbox number. I'm going to put one more camera onto the printer. This printer is useful because it shows that you have one of 3 locations that the main guard positions himself in on this one view, as well as you can see when the guard is, or the elite guard is on the 2nd floor, because he will come onto this floor and wait every once in a while. So right now I'm just waiting for that main guard to move, that way I can unlock the security door.
I'm so sorry.
Actually, I think I might bypass the security door. Nope. The security camera would have pinged me if it was pointed in my direction. I'm just going to hide behind the soda machine here. And get into the power room. Easy peasy. Now we're going to go ahead and start the download, or hack, I guess you could call it, to disable the security on the vault. And then, since we already got the power box when we entered the main area of the bank, the second part is already done. Cable controller, you get the code.
That switch opens the door.
Not the code, but the color and the symbol. That'll be important when we go down to the actual vault to open the vault access doors. Gonna go back, and this is where the fun starts. We're masking up because we can't take out this guard any other way. Normally I would try to go and use a lure, but there's no lures nearby that actually work on this guard, so the only way to actually take him out is by taking him down.
This is Central, please
Hello?
respond.
Yeah, I just wanted to say,
In Overkill mode,
did
you only
know
get
that a person can
2
bleed to death in
chances
less than 20
for
seconds?
2 guards that you can eliminate.
No, that's not weird. You calling me all
Security
the time.
is 1
That's
because
weird.
we couldn't use the lure to drag him out.
Right.
And the second one will be in the basement because that's where the main vault is, and I don't want to have to tiptoe around him in order to get to the vault. Trying to re-identify, make sure where the elite guard is, and then take care of any employees. Going straight for the VIP though. This guy wanders around a lot,
I
so
won't say anything.
want to stop him from doing that immediately and get him secured. And the guard's already back. This is a fast rotating guard, so I have to be very careful when I'm getting all these hostages because he's not staying in one spot for very long and rotating to all his different positions. I've also noticed that this guard is doing a counterclockwise patrol around this area. Depending, you can have both. When one playthrough, it could be counterclockwise, and one it could be clockwise. So you just gotta pay attention. The biggest thing with Overkill is patience. If you try to rush things, that's when you get in trouble. So I'm just waiting for him to start moving to get to this next hostage. Clearing up the main walkway. I have a tendency to get rid of all of the personnel on the floor. I've been gypped by these people accidentally seeing me so many times when I'm like on the first floor, seeing me through the window on the second floor, and vice versa, and things of that nature. So it's just, I just secure everybody as best as possible.
Touch me.
So the reason why I said I was back in this clip, this is a voiceover by the way, is because I had to step away from the computer for about 45 minutes. So I did a quick cut there. Gonna eliminate these last 2 hostages and store them in the security room. One thing to note is you can leave these hostages behind the island counter in the kitchen area temporarily, but you do not want to leave them there permanently. You always want to isolate the hostages in a separate room. Because sometimes I've run into situations where the elite guard, when opening the actual vault, even while it's not being searched, the guards aren't searching for me, anything like that. The elite guard seems to go out of his way and starts checking random locations, so I've been just securing all the hostages on that side of the building, and then I'm going to start dealing with all the hostages in the main office area space. One thing to note about the main office area space, though, you want to be extremely careful. There is a guard that sometimes on the roof will go to the left and the right of the upper, I guess what you would call skylight, and he'll see pretty much anything down below in that office. So if he sees anything, anybody tied up or anything like that, he'll automatically run down. Makes things very difficult. You can eliminate them as long as you still have radios until alarm. But you can still do this without alarming him if you time it perfectly. Right now I'm just waiting for the other VIP. The other VIP roams around a lot too, and he usually steps outside of this door, and I will take him down as soon as he comes out. He's taking a sweet time though. You also don't want to stand up because people outside these windows can see you as well. Just keep that in mind. Like I said, patience game. You don't want to rush. Rushing gets you in trouble. So isolate as many hostages solo as possible, and then deal with the ones that are like the static NPCs later. This is a perfect hiding spot for a hostage as well, is behind this flag. And behind the open door. Make sure to keep the door open. Just going to take down the hostage real quick. VIP storm in the corner. And then continue about my way. The main guard was on the corner of that door. Now we're going to wait for the guard on the upper floor to show up and start the timing sequence for this next section. Now, one thing to note is that every Overkill route, if you start a new game and start a new Overkill for pretty much any map, the main guard location or main guard routes are always going to be somewhat different. So sometimes you won't even have to worry about the skylight. You might have to still worry about the elite guard. Oh, there he is. Main guard is there. So if he sees anybody, or if there's anybody exposed on the second floor, he will see them, and we'll run down here to report it. Luckily, if I do everything right, though, we won't have to worry about that. So as soon as he finishes his static movement right there, as you see, he'll walk around the entire outside of that glass to the other side, and that's when I'm going to start taking all the hostages down. Now, we are professionals here, so I will not eliminate a single person. Nobody will die. You will see that on the end credit screens when this round has been finished.
Oh God, I'm cooperating.
So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting these guys against the wall as quick as possible. The main guard somehow saw me but didn't actually notice what was going on, so I'm just gonna finish tying everybody up real quick to get them secure. I still got some time left with the guard on the top of the roof before he circles back around to his original location. So I have a little bit of time to move these hostages, but it's going to be a close one. Sometimes I'll shove people in this corner without tying their hands, just to make it faster so it can cycle through all of the employees faster. You just want to be careful because if somebody gets up and runs away, they will alert the guards. So I usually like do 2 or 3 without tying their hands first, and then I will go back and tie their hands all at once just to make sure I have many of the hostages out of the way.
Oh my!
If anybody does get in my way, though, I will, or if somebody does start standing up, you just have to yell at them again, and they'll go back down on the floor. You just want to make sure that you keep an eye on them and they don't escape.
Oh no!
So I'm still on the first rotation of the roof guard, just trying to move everybody into this corner first. And the roof guard is back up there now. He hasn't looked in this direction, though.
Please, I won't say anything.
So hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and throw him.
Let me
Didn't
go.
do that. That could have been deadly. Those small mistakes is all it takes sometimes. Those small mistakes can lead to an entirely botched stealth run. So you gotta pay very close attention to your key inputs and not to make those mistakes. So just waiting for the guard to rotate again before I move on.
Guard.
You can see I'm clearly biding my time. I'm waiting for rotations, and I'm going to move and isolate every single hostage into a separate room. That way they don't get discovered later. There's nothing worse than getting down to the vault and then some guard finding somebody that you left in a supposed secure spot, and then your entire run's ruined like 25 minutes later. So this is another corner that I utilize a lot for securing hostages temporarily, just like in the kitchen area behind the counter. This is a nice hiding spot where nobody really checks.
Oh my!
Move all those hostages over there, and then I will move those hostages into the security room. Always keep your eyes on the roof, especially during this portion, because you never know when that guard will circle back around. It is not impossible to do this particular layout of the mission if the roof guard actually finds you. There is a way to deal with the guard in the basement without having to take him down.
I'm cooperating.
It just slows down the process and could lead to more mistakes. This is a slow part though. A lot of people tend to rush because they're tired of doing the same thing over and over again, but this game is very reliant on patience if you want to do stealth. So the guard's up top again, so I'm going to start waiting.
Guard, over there.
Please, I won't say anything.
He has his back turned to me, so I'm moving. Seems like there's two different statuses to guard activity. They're either static and they're just rocking back and forth on their feet, or they're going to be like turning around in random directions looking all the way around. It's hard to tell when they're actually going to do what to see them. That was why it took the risk when his back was turned to take care and move, because I seen it that he was more static than dynamic, I guess you could say. Main guard is back in the hallway, so this will be the last movement. I have to wait until he comes to this door to do the last couple. Or do I only have one more? No, I just have one more. Nice.
Hey, let go!
Some people arguing that this slow walk animation is too slow. I actually like it because I can keep better control over the hostage. And if I'm starting to get detected, I can shove him behind a wall real quick and then crouch myself, and usually can break visual contact.
Shit! Let me go!
Continue to isolate. Continue to isolate.
Oh my! Ah! Oh no! Ah!
Yep. Main guard returned and almost messed up. I could have made it into that side room without getting detected fully, but I didn't want to risk it. Now going on my own private security camera that I installed earlier on the printer, and just keeping track. And time to move.
Oh no! Ah! Oh god. I'm
That's my
cooperating.
last hostage, so we can now move on to the next phase.
Ah!
The entirety of floor 2 has been isolated. Checking for the location of the lead guard, just to see where he's at. I don't have visual confirmation, so I'm not going to run. He could be in the basement where I need to go, or he could be on the second floor. At this point, since it was 45 minutes later, I had already forgotten the actual code on the... I was just checking the color and the symbol. You don't really need to know what the symbol is. I just memorize the colors. Maybe when they come out with more difficult overkills, it might be more important to memorize them. But I just go by color. So as soon as that door opened, I knew the elite guard was coming down from the rooftop. So I'm just checking and marking him to see where he's going to go. And he went down in the basement exactly where I needed to go. So I'm going to have to wait again for another cycle rotation of the guards. And now he's coming back upstairs. So where is he gonna go? And of course he had to stop right there from the transition point. Gotta wait some more. And this is one that'll get you quickly too, because you'll notice he'll go immediately back downstairs again. That has gotten me caught so many times where he did a double back move and caught me while I was taking care of stuff in the basement. So be careful. They can double up their same location movements twice. So you don't want to get complacent. Always make sure you know where that elite guard is going. At this point, I've started growing impatient with having to wait too. It affects everybody who plays this game. People want to go fast and do it quickly, but sometimes it's not possible. But he immediately turned to go up the rooftop, so I'm taking my move now. Now it's time to take care of all the hostages in the guard in the ground floor, or on the ground floor. I'm going to go ahead and take this guard immediately. There's no roaming NPCs in the hallway, so I can take him down quietly without him discovering me. Just make sure I fully answer the pager.
Everything all right over there?
Yeah, so we have no problems here. None whatsoever. Nope. Nothing.
Now it's time to take care of all the
Absolutely
roaming NPCs in the first floor.
That sounds a bit off, but okay.
There's two of them right there. And they noticed me. So now, this actually kind of freaked me out a little bit, because this could be disastrous. And it triggered somebody inside as well. And it triggered everybody all at once. Now I've got to get all these people secured and tied up before the lead guard comes back down here.
Let me go.
Throwing hostages against this area where behind the table, but behind the green curtain is a good spot.
No! Let me go!
Because it will block vision from the guard that patrols outside around the back of the actual bank. And it will also help hide from the elite guard that goes right up to that window and starts looking inside. I don't know how he doesn't see them, but he doesn't. that location where I had them tied up was very bad, so I'm going to move them slightly over, because if the lead guard comes down here, he will immediately notice them.
Oh no!
Securing the people in the hallway as fast as possible. Always looking at that door. I've had an instance where I was escorting a prisoner over, and I got caught immediately, so it's always better to check the security camera that you placed up quickly to make sure that there's no elite guard before continuing moving hostages. And just like that, elite guard came downstairs right when I was about to move. That elite guard literally pushes his face up against the glass to check for people inside that room, but luckily where I had my hostages at behind the green curtains actually helped protect them. Kind of feel sorry for these hostages, just throwing them in the toilets like this, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is like the only isolated room on this floor, so I gotta make use of what I have. I'm gonna continue moving the rest of the hostages from the meeting room. Got 3 more, I think.
Oh no!
There is actually a way to take all the employees down in the meeting room without them noticing each other, but I wasn't able to do that because those 2 employees in the hallway had triggered them before I could show you. Maybe I'll put up another video later of that tactic. I still don't know how it exactly works. Maybe it's just line of sight. I'm not quite sure.
Leave me alone!
I'm going to double back and get that guard that I missed. Or actually, I'm going to get the IT guy first.
Hey,
This guy
let's go.
always sits in the same place. He never moves. He doesn't really notice anybody. You could probably just leave him there and he probably would never see anything or report anything. But, again, there's been too many times I've been burned by random things happening. So, just secure everybody. So one thing I like Payday 3 over Payday 2 is that I have unlimited zip ties. Maybe that'll change with different Overkill difficulties. Just doing a final sweep, making sure everybody is gone, and I'm going to secure the guard that I left behind. And there's the elite guard again. Where is the elite guard? He came downstairs. Did he just pause in the stairwell? Yep.
Guard!
So now it's time to get my VIP down. I noticed that the elite guard went all the way up to the roof, so this was a perfect opportunity to move the VIP down to the basement now that I have everybody secured.
Oh God!
Normally, if you're new and you don't know who the VIPs already are in advance, it will automatically highlight them when you open up the security doors to get access to the vault area. But I already know who the VIPs are because I've played the Overkill enough to know who the VIPs and where they spawn at. So I'm going to go ahead and secure the payload before I even bother going in that area. And the elite guards was randomly down here. I did not make sure that I checked my security cameras before I came down here, and I almost messed up this entire run again. Small things like that, those small rushes where you're making decisions that you think you're safe, and then all of a sudden that lead guard pops up out of nowhere, even though the last time you saw him, he was going up to the rooftop. And he magically teleports, it seems like sometimes. Thought I was getting spotted there, but I just realized that it was the VIP that was spotting me again after I'd released him, so.
A code's been sent to the manager's computer. Get it.
I'm gonna check the camera because I'm not gonna get burned again. Gonna mark them and move.
Oh no!
I'm not gonna get caught off guard by that same thing again. Last thing I need to do before I can actually get into the vault, I have to go up to the office where the code was generated. Again, I'm going to check my camera one more time just to make sure.
It's the guard.
Access up to the second floor has been cleared. Now I need the codes for the actual vault. I almost got caught there as well through that small little window. Just checking for all the loose loot because I wanted to make sure I 100% this run again. There could be things I'm still missing, but
Use that code to open
generally
the vault.
speaking, I think it's just there's a small amount of loose loot, and then there's 3 safes, and that's pretty much it. So I think I have everything besides what's in the vault. Checking for guard. Guard's not there. Check for the fingerprints on the code pad to see what the numbers are. The computer that you hacked gives you 4 options. You want to pick the numbers that are the fingerprints, the most commonly used
The money
keypad
is
numbers,
rigged with die
and
packs.
match it to whatever
Once
the
door
code is
opens,
from the
you
4 that
only
were
have a
given.
short amount of time before they go
Now,
off.
like I said, I'm going to 100% all the loose loot and all the lock boxes. So you notice that little yellow highlight box was the Wixie. That's why we were collecting all those files from earlier. But
I'm gonna look into
I already
this some
planned to
more.
get everything anyway, so I didn't really need that. For like speed runs and things, you could just collect the relevant files and not get all this loot cache. This loose loot cache really doesn't make a difference. But there are 2 bags of cash that are in these lock boxes, so that's what I'm looking for right now. Because again, I'm 100% clearing it. When it comes to the next part, when you actually go inside the caged area, you have to move quickly, because if you don't, there's automated like ink bombs inside the bags that will ink all the currency within the bags. And if you don't disable them all quickly enough, then some of the bags will get marked when you collect the cash. It is possible if you move and you're very precise in your movements to get 7 out of the 8. I have never been able to get 8 out of 8. But the majority of the time I'm not able to get 7 out of 8 and end up with only 6. So I would say the average is about 6 bags. There's a total of 8 inside that caged area. But 6 of them will be clean and 2 of them will be tainted. I would still collect the bags of cash though. I haven't really noticed a decrease in profit when you extract with all the bags. The only thing is that those marked bags with the paint bombed
Disarm the die packs and bag the money.
money is that they seem to have like an increased AoE when you put them into bag form, and it'll make officers easier to detect them when they're walking around if you just have it lying on the floor somewhere. So you'll notice me doing the last bags that I will actually take are the paint marked ones, because like I said, the increased AoE might screw me over. So I'm only going to grab the money bags that I'm going to be moving now. The only thing that sucks about solo is since you don't have other teammates with you, you got to do these one by one. Luckily, you can throw the bags on your fellow AI bots so they can carry them. The other benefit of solo is that the police and the guards will not spot an AI bot that has a money bag on his back. So that's one of the benefits that counteracts the whole having to move these bags one at a time. There is a guard that patrols that main foyer area of the bank. I've been burned sometimes because I threw the money bags close to the opening of the actual vault door, and he spotted them, and I got reported and ended my stealth run through that. Looking for the guard that's patrolling, throwing my first bag out to my
There's the
AI
guard.
counterpart. Mark the guard outside so I can See where he's going.
Spotted a guard.
So these AI will move with you to the truck when you have them, when you start walking nearby
Watch
it,
the
because
guard.
they're getting ready for extract. But really, I'm just using them as bag carriers right now.
Guard over there.
Most difficult thing is just getting around these civilians outside near the cars without getting spotted.
Now, I don't want no damage to the van. Gentle with the heavy bags.
This is my extraction point that I prefer. This one's the easiest for me, in my opinion. The other extraction point is out on the main road, which takes a lot more time and is a lot slower. It is doable, it's just even slower than this run.
That's 2. That's 3 bags.
For whatever reason, chains always get stuck, so I have to move further away for them to get to move. And that's 4 bags secured.
4
Time to
bags
move back
accounted.
and get the 4
There's
other
the
good
guard.
bags out of the bank.
Spotted a guard. Guard.
The guard rotations are a pain in the butt sometimes, so that's why I try to use the AI as bag carriers as much as possible. I'm gonna secure the last 4 good bags, and then I'll get the paint marked ones later. Always checking for that elite guard that roams the bottom and the main guard that is in the main foyer area, because the one in the main foyer stands in front of that door to the left a lot, so just keeping on the lookout. This is another painful, slow progress one. You really don't want to be sprinting around here, because there's been times where I sprinted back and forth between the room where I'm carrying the cash now and the vault, and the guard outside the building that's patrolling up and down the side of the building heard me running through the walls and then discovered me on the inside. So make sure that you're always walking around. You don't have to crouch. Crouching is much slower, but
There's the guard.
it's all how much you're willing to risk for a potentially 30-minute run going to waste in a couple seconds.
Watch the guard.
Pausing here because I have a feeling that guard was going to walk back towards me, but he's actually moving up through the middle of the parking lot, so
Spotted the
that'll
guard.
allow me to get the last bag on Dallas and get my bag and then start walking to the car or the van.
Guard over there.
I'm gonna have to wait now because the guard's in a very bad spot. Can't go to the left because the civilians in the parking lot will see me, so just gotta wait.
Watch the guard. Spotted a guard.
I decided to go behind the crate this time just because it was a safer alternative. I didn't want to chance anything at this point.
Watch the guard.
Guard's moving away, and I can get to the van very easily.
Guard, over there.
I'm going to go ahead and preemptively
5
move all the way
bags
to the
and
front of the
counting.
van just so Chains doesn't get stuck again.
Six bags and counting. That's 7 bags. That's what we came for. But why not
Spotted
get
a
some more
guard.
while you're at it?
2 more bags to go, and I'm home free. And that'll be the entire Overkill run on solo stealth.
Guard. There's a guard. Watch the guard. Guard.
So I opted to do a voiceover for this run through because I tried multiple times prior to talk while I was doing things, and it just ended up turning into babbling nonsense. So decided to do the voiceover to get it more succinct, I guess. I'm still rambling a little bit, but you know, there's a lot of information that I have
There's
to
the
share.
guard. Watch the guard. Guard.
I'm gonna take the safe route around the container again. And you probably don't actually need to go behind this container. I'm just doing it for safety because I am on my last 2 bags. This is nearly flawless run at this point. I don't want to mess it up in the last 2 seconds and lose a couple bags of loot, because if I had gotten spotted at this point, I would have just escaped and started another video more than likely. And time to escape. I got everything. And that is a successful stealth solo overkill on No Rest for the Wicked. I'm glad you joined me. This is my reward screen. I got a couple unlocks. Got all 10 bags, no kills, flawless run. $412,000. Granted, money in this game doesn't seem to mean much. You're going to have an overflow of cash anyway, so picking up all that loose cash really doesn't mean anything. But I'm going to move back to the main screen right now and show you the perks that I was using. Some of them, like Medic, wasn't necessary. Infiltrator allows me to pick the lock and gain Rush. And while I have Rush, a successful lockpick will reinvigorate Rush and allow me to open it quicker. Manipulator, unnecessary. You just tie up hostages faster, but I don't really notice the difference all that much. Grifter, well maxed off. While next to a civilian, you gain Rush, and then as long as you're unmasked and have a Rush, employees will ignore you performing illegal actions. Hacker is also unnecessary. I didn't even use it that run. I'm just doing research with them right now to unlock them. Just for reference, I'm level 22, and yeah, thank you for watching.